Streaming! Hello everybody! Hello! Welcome to everybody to our stream, and I'm going to be showing you my Star Wars movie collection.
If you've seen my earlier episodes, you know that I've already covered the NES-2. Now, the NES-2 had many noticeable improvements over the original model,
Force
and was
Awakens.
probably worth buying. But what about the SNES? Well, let's take a look.
Side by side, you can see the SNES-2 was much smaller than the original model. It's also much lighter as well. The power button and reset switch were
the disc will be the same as the next release.
And the games load on top, just like the older model. However, there are some noticeable differences. The SNES-2 lacks an RF connection on the system. There's also no eject button, and once again, just like the NES-2, there's no LED light. It also feels kinda cheap.
So why even buy the Super Nintendo? I'll admit it's much more sleek and much more compact than the original, but there's little incentive to upgrade from the original model. But Nintendo didn't make the SNES-2 for those already owning a Super Nintendo. It was for newcomers to video games.
And here is the Blu-ray. The bonus.
And it was a great budget system.
And
by examining the specifications of the SNES-2,
inside of the steelbook,
it's easy to determine that the SNES-2 was much cheaper to produce.
This is the best part exclusive. The other one's
by taking out features that seemed unnecessary and redesigning the system, Nintendo saved a lot of money by scrapping the old model and continuing with the redesigned model. Many gamers thought the Super Nintendo was being redesigned to incorporate the CD-based attachment Nintendo was rumored to be releasing. But the Super Nintendo 2 had no expansion slot like the original version. With the approaching 1997 holiday season, Nintendo surveyed that many people were still avid 16-bit gamers. They also noticed that many consumers were hesitant to commit to the larger price tags of consoles. Thus, to appeal to those who never had a Super Nintendo, or those who wanted to get into gaming, they released the SNES-2 in October of 1997. It retailed for $99. Compare that to the Nintendo 64, which was $200, and the PlayStation, which was $150. It also came bundled with Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. It's a perfect successor to the last Super Nintendo. Power base converter, or Galoo's Game Genie. Any game that utilized an extra processor also won't work, such as Virtua Racing.
Overall, the Sega Genesis 3 is a nice version of the 16-bit console, especially for import gamers or those wanting to save on some shelf space. However, some games simply don't work on the system, and any hardware add-ons, forget about it. This thing is simply just a Genesis. Today they're worth about $30 to $40, however, they are somewhat hard to find. Najesco only sold the system for about a year. By the end of the year, they were selling them for as low as $19.99. Wow. So should you pick up a Genesis 3? Well, hopefully this video will help in your decision making. That's all for this episode of The Gaming Historian. Thanks for watching.
My live chat is not picking up, but anyway. I'm gonna rename my stream. And here we go. Here